Hello folks, it's Sean, Victorian Piper. It's very good to see you. A couple of days after Christmas, but what I thought I'd do is just a little chat, because today is the 1 year anniversary of when I first smoked a pipe. So I thought I'd just have a little chat about how I found this year, how I found things have changed, and just a few other developments and things that have gone on since I took up this what's turned out to be a most wonderful hobby. So let me just sit back a minute. So I'm in my obviously my cosy corner of the garage. I've got a new heater. It's behind the seat there. It's far more powerful than the old little fan heater I had, which made a racket. Although I do wonder whether this makes a noise. It's quite quiet, but I can hear a very subtle buzzing. It's the sort of thing the camera might pick up. So I do apologise if there's a bit of a noise. Also, I shall attempt to keep this lit as best I can. But as you know, I waffle on a lot and it tends to go out all the time. Okay, for the minute. I've changed phone. Now, not usually a problem. But one thing I didn't figure when I bought this one, it doesn't have a 3.5mm jack, which means I can't plug my external microphone in. So I do hope this has just picked up any sound at all. Well, we'll see. So yes, my 1 year anniversary today, exactly to the day. Now what I'd done is I'd thought about it, and it's something I'd kind of wanted to do for quite a long time, but just never really bothered. But through November and December, I've done quite a lot of research. One thing I like to do, if I'm going to do something, is do it properly. So I do like to do quite a bit of research into whatever it may be. Obviously, in this case, that meant watching a lot of you guys on YouTube. I got so much information from that, as I guess a lot of us newer pipers did, to be fair. I think the lack of B&Ms, which is obviously just a sign of the times, I think there aren't many places to get advice outside of the internet anymore. You might be lucky and have a good B&M near to you. I've got one that's not far away, but they're no longer a specialist tobacconist. They've moved into other things. They just happen to have a few jars of tobacco on the shelves in the stores. So although I did go in early on, obviously the advice wasn't really there. So yes, YouTube was definitely my friend. So yes, I ordered a starter kit, if you like, from Gauntleys of Nottingham. It basically consisted of a pipe, and I think there were 6 different tobaccos, I think. And to be fair, they weren't all aromatics. Black coffee as per usual for me, especially as it's in the morning. Yes, they weren't all aromatics. So there were a couple, but the rest were, and I honestly can't remember what they were now. There was a sheet that came with it. I should have kept it really, just to remind me what there was. But I tried all of them. The pipe I was a bit, I guess, not disappointed with, but it was a Mr. Brogg pear wood pipe. It's in a cupboard somewhere. I probably should have dug that out. But the thing is, it's one of those really small pipes. So, you got it out of the box and you thought, is that it? I thought it'd be a bit bigger. But in hindsight, it was perfect for getting started with. Small enough that you weren't going to put an absolute ton of tobacco in, get halfway through and think, this, not liking this, I've got tongue bite, whatever, and you've wasted a good chunk of tobacco there. So it was good in that respect, I figure. It was also quite good for learning how to clench, because it didn't weigh anything. But it was only a matter of, I think, maybe 2 weeks, around about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I thought, you know what, I'm quite enjoying this. The excellent advice I'd got from various YouTube videos on how to pack the pipe, how to smoke the pipe, you know, try and keep the thing lit, which I can guarantee that's gone out again. All very helpful, and I found that I enjoyed it. The weather was a lot milder last year. It's actually, we don't get much snow in the UK. Going completely off topic here. We don't get much snow, but it snowed a little bit overnight here. And then since I've got up, it snowed quite heavily, and now it's easing off a bit. So we've actually got really quite a dusting of snow. I'll put a little clip in now. Yeah, so there you go. That's a reasonable amount for the UK, to be fair. It does mean the most I'll do today probably is take Max out for a walk. I don't mind walking in it, and it does look really pretty. Bliss Hill, by the way, looks spectacular when it's got a covering of snow on. I'm actually there tomorrow, so hopefully, I say hopefully, I hate driving in it. We're so unprepared here in the UK for this kind of weather that the roads just aren't really dealt with at all well. And being where I am in Shropshire, it's that little bit more rural. Main roads get done, but our road, which you'd have seen on the clip outside, it's a dead end, so it doesn't get any salt put down on it. And I think probably the main road or some of the roads out round near Bliss Hill, again, because it's in a more rural area of Ironbridge, they probably don't grit a lot of it, so it can always be a bit treacherous. Especially when my car that's sat outside, it's brand new to me, I've never driven it in the snow, it's automatic, so they're always a bit of a pain. And it's on summer tyres, because obviously here in the UK, we never bother with winter tyres because we don't usually get bad winters. So we'll see, but maybe a bit of footage tomorrow. Anyway, back to the subject. I'll say I'm digressing here a little. Right, so let's just get this relit. So yes, a little Mr. Brog pipe, 6 different packets, only small. I think there were 10 gram samples. They're only small. It's enough to say what you like and what you don't like. And the only one I really didn't like which is an absolute crime to some of you, and that was Garrett's Full Virginia Flake. I really didn't like it. I found it an absolute pig to get lit and keep lit, and when it was lit, all it reminded me of was cigarettes. Just that taste and the smell. I did not like it at all. So that had the effect of putting me off straight Virginia blends, and that lasted for quite some time. Now, moving on a bit, like I say, it was a few weeks later, decided I enjoyed it. The little Mr. Brog pipe, it was serviceable, but not great. I'd also bought a corn cob from that local tobacconists that had a few jars. I can't remember what I bought tobacco-wise. I think one might have been a mild English, but I can't remember what it was. The other one was the ubiquitous aromatic cherry blend, mainly because that's what I'd remembered from my childhood of my granddad smoking, and I love the smell of it as a child, so figured it would be good as an adult. Obviously, being new to pipe smoking, still learning the ropes, you tend to smoke it hot and too fast, and it didn't taste of cherry at all. Didn't really enjoy it. That's obviously since changed, but at the time, it just wasn't for me, and it certainly didn't give me those that smell and the memories of when my granddad used to smoke it. So anyway, I decided this was for me. I did quite enjoy it, so I went and purchased a briar pipe, a proper briar pipe if you like. Now, it wasn't an expensive one. It was a Parker of London, a Jockey Club pipe, and it's the very pipe I'm smoking now. So I'll try and hold this up for you. Not sure how the camera will cope. It's a sort of bent Rhodesian. It's a pretty good size. You can see I've got quite big hands. It's a decently sized pipe. It's quite gurgly. It's gurgling already, and I've only lit this 10 minutes ago, which is a downside to it, but otherwise it smokes reasonably well. And it was my first proper pipe, if you like, so which is why I thought I'd smoke it today. And also when I bought this, I bought my first tin of tobacco. And after doing a little bit of, again, a little bit more research and a bit of digging around, obviously not having a clue about the different types of tobaccos, how they would taste, whether I'd like them or not. One blend that seemed to get a lot of good reviews and appealed to me, probably because of the having a bit of a topping on it, and that was Mac Baren's Navy Flake, and that's what I've got in here today. So my first briar pipe and my first proper tin of tobacco, if you like. Now, fortunately, I did like it straight away at the tin. As with all Mac Baren flakes, I was impressed with the presentation. I'd obviously never seen a proper tin of tobacco at the time. Super impressed with the beautiful uniform flakes. It smelled lovely in the tin, and it smoked well straight away. It was one of those that just was no hassle at all to get lit, keep lit. The only thing I did find was that, and obviously some of you will laugh at this, is the nicotine. It's, to me now, a year on, not a high nicotine blend, but obviously back then, having not smoked for 20 years, the only thing I didn't like was it did knock me about a bit. Now, some of you will know I'm still not particularly nicotine tolerant, and a lot of blends do still give me a bit of a kick in, but this one I think I've pretty much got covered now. So here, a year on, it's also the first tobacco I've actually aged myself. I've obviously had samples sent to me from good friends out there that have got age on whatever it is they've sent, and I did actually manage to buy some tobacco from someone that was selling it off that was 6 years old, I think. So obviously that's got some half decent age on it. But yes, this is a year old, and I will say I can see the benefits. If you can hear the noise in the background, it's Max. I think there's some kids have just gone past. Obviously I don't much like the snow, but I don't think there's many children that don't, is there? But yeah, this, with that year of age on it, it was nice, fresh, but I can really see the benefits of at least keeping something for a year. I'm not sure I see the benefit of keeping stuff for 10 odd years, because I'm very much a life in the moment type of person, so keeping something for a year is a struggle for me, to be honest. But 10 years, that's too far down the line for me. I don't think I could do it. So the only way I'll smoke tobacco that old, a bit like that Balkan Flake that I bought that was 6 years old, that's probably the only way I'll ever get to smoke properly aged tobacco. But yeah, smoking this now, I definitely see the benefit. It's far smoother. Obviously this is a mainly burley blend. It hasn't got any of that sort of bitterness or that sort of strong kind of bite that burley has or can have when it's fresh. The other one I've had is the Solani aged burley flake, and that's very similar. Obviously that's had a bit of age put on it before it's tinned. and I think it does make a difference. So yes, definitely see the benefit of that. So that's something I've learned in my first year. The other thing I learned, and fairly quickly too, was what you'd consider your standard beginner's blends. Yeah, they were okay. I mean, obviously, it's generally milder stuff. It's something that's not too high in nicotine, too high in that sort of raw tobacco taste. I very quickly found them just mediocre, a bit meh, you know. So dallied with some stronger stuff. I'm trying to think, because I don't have the best memory, what the first stronger tobacco I bought was, or even was gifted. No, I can't think. But what I will say is I very quickly moved away from those milder and aromatic-y blends, I guess, the top, quite heavily top stuff, and did move into the stronger stuff. I did a video quite some time ago now, which was asking for recommendations from the community, and if I remember rightly, there was something like 42, 43 blends on the list from that people had recommended. Blends that had more than one vote. I totted up and then made a bit of a chart with the ones with the most votes at the top running down. And I can say at this point, I've at least probably done at least the top 5. Now, top of that list was Germain's Rich Dark Flake. And for me, that was a revelation. It had that stronger taste and flavour that I wanted. It's not particularly high in nicotine, which for me is good. But and I think I've said this previously, I think it's a Germain's thing. It's how they process their tobaccos. I've not tried a Germain's blend I do not like an awful lot. Now, Rich Dark Flake very quickly became my absolute favourite, and it's the only one that I've actually bought, not lots of. I mean, I'm not talking like a big 500 gram box or anything. I think I'd like to, but you just can't get it for love nor money at the minute. But it is one that I've actually filled one of my decently sized jars with. And other than bits I've given away, I've still got an amount of it left, and that's the only one I've got an amount of. I think it will always be near the top of my favourite blends. And for a long time, well, I say a long time, we're only a year in, it was my absolute favourite. However, obviously, you try new things all the time. That's the good thing with this hobby. There are just so many blends to try. Obviously, I've had lots of samples sent through from, again, good people out there. That's opened up a wide variety of tobaccos to me. So quantities that I've got that sort of was worth putting in a jar, I've got around 30 different blends now that are sort of in jars, and I pick and choose. I don't tend to smoke one thing and then smoke that for a week. It's generally always something new every time I light a pipe, and it's normally only one pipe a day, maybe 2. I found I smoke more in the summer, which I know is complete opposite to a lot of you guys. You prefer to smoke more in the winter. But in the summer, I could get outside and sit in the garden, and that was a nice way to spend an hour at a time, whether it be at lunchtime, because I work full time, or after work. You've got those lighter, warmer evenings, so that appealed to me more. But now in the winter, I'm only smoking generally 1 bowl a day. Yesterday, I didn't have one at all, just the way it is. But yes, I don't tend to smoke as much in the winter. So yeah, anyway, 30 different blends, usually, in jars. And then I've got lots and lots, again, of samples that have been sent. So occasionally I'll have a few days where I'll just open up the big tub I've got the samples in to keep them, as sort of airtight and in best condition as I can. And I'll have to pick through those. So yeah, RDF, generally, is my number one. However, I was sent a sample a month or 2 back. I tried it, I liked it, I tried it again the next day, which is unusual, and I liked it even more. And again, it's one I've bought more of, and I would say vies with Rich Dark Flake as my favourite, and that is Gowit's Revor, however you say, Revor plug. Let's go with that. It's a thick black tobacco plug, but it does break apart nice and easily. It's not an overly solid one, so it's easy enough to either flake or rub out. And yes, it does have a slightly floral topping on it, which doesn't really come through too much during the smoke, I found, but it's just such a dark, satisfying blend, and that does have a bit of a nicotine kick for me, but not too bad, so it's perfectly smokable. So I think for this 1 year journey, obviously there's main things in that I've learned so much from the community on just how to smoke the pipe and get the most enjoyment out of it, and I do enjoy it a lot. And also how my tastes changed quite quickly from what you'd consider a beginner blend. You'll see a lot of reviews that say, you know, oh, for the experienced smoker, you know, not one for beginners. And I can see the point. However, we're all different, and I found that those blends, those bolder, stronger tasting blends, if not in nicotine, were definitely more my thing. It's possibly, well, it is due to your palate, isn't it? It's due to what you like. In terms of food, I like very strong, rich tasting things, so I guess it figured that tobacco would follow, to be honest. So yeah, that was pretty much it for that first year of smoking. It's gone out again, but you don't want to see me like this 100 times. I'll sit and enjoy this when I finish the video. But the absolute number one thing about my first year in pipe smoking, and it's not the pipes and it's not the tobacco, that's you guys. The community, obviously mainly for me, YouTube, and a lot of the guys I deal with and speak to through the YouTube community, but there's also the Facebook groups, the Instagram, the internet forum, the Pipes Magazine forum. The wealth of information is just amazing. But the best thing for me, that's the friends I've made in such a short time, from me presenting in March of this year through to now. Obviously it's not been all that long, but the friends I have made is just incredible, absolutely incredible. I was going to say some, but it's only one I've actually managed to meet in person. That's Phil Badgerash, as you might know him, and that was so nice to just be able to meet up with somebody with your similar interest and just, you know, shoot the breeze and just enjoy each other's company. And I so look forward to doing that, hopefully next year. We're not quite there yet, but again, so many of you in the UK I've made, and I would consider friends. You know, we've never met, but we've conversed, we've communicated, done VRs to each other, and I really do feel that connection, and not only in the UK but all over the world. Our friends in Switzerland, Germany, US, Canada. It's an absolute huge worldwide network of people all brought together by that one common interest, and for that I absolutely thank you all. The advice on the pipes, the tobaccos, how to smoke, invaluable, but that friendship, be it virtual or in real life, absolutely can't put a price on it, can you? Absolutely fantastic. So we'll cut it there. The camera's too far away and I haven't got my glasses on, so I don't know how long I've been rambling on for, but if you've made it to the end, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for accompanying me on this first year, and I hope there are many, many years to come, and I certainly hope to meet many, many of you guys. So you all be well, stay safe, hope you've had a lovely Christmas, and I wish you a happy new year, which will be coming up in a day or two. Other than that, I'll leave you there. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon.